Question 1. What happens if the spring brakes are leaking air? A. Engine power increases. B. Pressure may drop and braking may be reduced. C. Tires inflate. D. Lights get brighter. Correct answer, B. Pressure may drop and braking may be reduced. Explanation. A leak in the spring chamber allows air to escape, which can cause the internal springs to partially apply the brakes while you are driving. Question 2. Why are spring brakes important for safety? A. It cools the engine only. B. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. C. It improves music quality. D. It increases tire grip directly. Correct answer, B. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. Explanation. They guarantee the vehicle can be stopped and held in place even if the engine dies or the air compressor fails. Question 3. Which check best relates to the spring brakes? A. Check tread depth. B. Check oil color. C. Check radio station. D. Look for leaks and secure mounting. Correct answer, D. Look for leaks and secure mounting. Explanation. Checking for secure mounting ensures the heavy spring force is properly transmitted to the brake shoes without damaging the chassis. Question 4. Which symptom could indicate a problem with the spring brakes? A. Engine misfire only. B. AC blows cold only. C. Headlights flicker only. D. Air pressure drops or brake response slows. Correct answer, D. Air pressure drops or brake response slows. Explanation. Air pressure drops that only occur when the parking brakes are released often indicate a leak within the spring brake chambers. Question 5. What is the main job of the service brake chambers? A. Lowers coolant temperature. B. Changes engine oil pressure. C. Convert air pressure into pushrod force. D. Is part of the steering system. Correct answer, C. Convert air pressure into pushrod force. Explanation. Service chambers act as the final stage of the pneumatic system, using air pressure to physically move a pushrod that activates the mechanical brakes. Question 6. Which component converts air pressure into pushrod force? A. Service brake chambers. B. Tire valve stem. C. Steering gearbox. D. Radiator. Correct answer, A. Service brake chambers. Explanation. The diaphragm inside the chamber expands when air enters, pushing the rod forward to apply the brakes. Question 7. Which part is designed to convert air pressure into pushrod force? A. Service brake chambers. B. Radiator. C. Steering gearbox. D. Tire valve stem. Correct answer, A. Service brake chambers. Explanation. Each wheel position has a chamber that serves as the pneumatic to mechanical interface for stopping the vehicle. Question 8. If the service brake chambers fail, what problem is most likely? A. Brighter headlights. B. Reduced braking system performance. C. Better fuel economy. D. Lower tire wear. Correct answer, B. Reduced braking system performance. Explanation. If a chamber is leaking or has a ruptured diaphragm, the force applied to that wheel's brakes will be weak or non-existent, increasing stopping distance. Question 9. Which statement about the service brake chambers is true? A. It adds moisture on purpose. B. It is only cosmetic. C. It controls tire pressure. D. Convert air pressure into pushrod force. Correct answer, D. Convert air pressure into pushrod force. Explanation. Reliable chambers are necessary to ensure the high-pressure air stored in the tanks is effectively turned into stopping power at the wheels. Question 10. During pre-trip, the service brake chambers should be checked for what first? A. Coolant color. B. Secure mounting and air leaks. C. Battery voltage. D. Oil level. Correct answer, B. Secure mounting and air leaks. Explanation: check for physical damage such as cracks in the housing or loose clamps, and listen for leaks when the service brakes are applied. Question 11. A driver complaint linked to the service brake chambers could be: A. Wiper streaks only. B. Radio static only. C. Engine overheating only. D. Slow brake response or weak braking. Correct answer, D. Slow brake response or weak braking. Explanation: if air is leaking from a chamber diaphragm, the system cannot maintain the pressure needed for rapid and powerful braking. Question 12. Which item best describes the service brake chambers? A. Engine part for cooling. B. Chambers that convert air pressure into pushrod force. C. Tire part for traction. D. Steering part for turning. Correct answer, B. Chambers that convert air pressure into pushrod force. Explanation: they are the pneumatic actuators that drive the mechanical brake hardware. Question 13. What happens if the service brake chambers are leaking air? A. Tires inflate. B. Lights get brighter. C. Pressure may drop and braking may be reduced. D. Engine power increases. Correct answer, C. Pressure may drop and braking may be reduced. Explanation: any leakage during brake application results in less pressure reaching the shoes, making it much harder to stop the vehicle quickly. Question 14. Why are service brake chambers important for safety? A. It increases tire grip directly. B. It improves music quality. C. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. D. It cools the engine only. Correct answer, C. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. Explanation: fully functional chambers are the only way to ensure the driver's input at the pedal translates to actual stopping force at the wheels. Question 15. Which check best relates to the service brake chambers? A. Check oil color. B. Check tread depth. C. Check radio station. D. Look for leaks and secure mounting. Correct answer, D. Look for leaks and secure mounting. Explanation: verification of secure mounting is essential, as the chamber must remain stationary to push the rod against the slack adjuster properly. Question 16. Which symptom could indicate a problem with the service brake chambers? A. Engine misfire only. B. Air pressure drops or brake response slows. C. AC blows cold only. D. Headlights flicker only. Correct answer, B. Air pressure drops or brake response slows. Explanation: a steady drop in the air gauge while the brake pedal is held down is a primary indicator of a leaking service chamber. Question 17. What is the main job of the slack adjusters? A. Is part of the steering system. B. Controls the radio volume. C. Transfer pushrod force to the S-cam and maintain adjustment. D. Lowers coolant temperature. Correct answer, C. Transfer pushrod force to the S-cam and maintain adjustment. Explanation: slack adjusters connect the pushrod to the S-cam and automatically, or manually, adjust the clearance between the brake linings and the drum as the shoes wear down. Question 18. Which component transfers pushrod force to the S-cam and helps maintain proper adjustment? A. Radiator. B. Slack adjusters. C. Tire valve stem. D. Steering gearbox. Correct answer, B. Slack adjusters. Explanation: the slack adjuster is the mechanical lever that turns the linear push of the pushrod into the rotational force of the S-cam. Question 19. Which part is designed to transfer pushrod force to the S-cam and help maintain proper adjustment? A. Slack adjusters. B. Steering gearbox. C. Radiator. D. Tire valve stem. Correct answer, A. Slack adjusters. Explanation. Properly functioning slack adjusters are critical to ensure that the brakes apply fully with a normal amount of air pressure. Question 20. If the slack adjusters fail, what problem is most likely? A. Lower tire wear. B. Brighter headlights. C. Better fuel economy. D. Excessive pushrod travel and poor brake adjustment. Correct answer, D. Excessive pushrod travel and poor brake adjustment. Explanation. When adjusters fail or are broken, the pushrod has to travel too far to apply the brakes, resulting in weak stopping power and an out-of-adjustment condition. Question 21. Which statement about the slack adjusters is true? A. Transfer pushrod force to the S-cam and help maintain proper adjustment. B. It adds moisture on purpose. C. It controls tire pressure. D. It is only cosmetic. Correct answer, A. Transfer pushrod force to the S-cam and help maintain proper adjustment. Explanation. Slack adjusters act as a lever to multiply the force of the pushrod and rotate the S-cam, ensuring the brake shoes reach the drum with minimal air pressure. Question 22. During pre-trip, the slack adjusters should be checked for what first? A. Secure mounting and damage. B. Oil level. C. Coolant color. D. Battery voltage. Correct answer, A. Secure mounting and damage. Explanation. Mechanical checks must verify that all pins are in place and that there are no cracks in the adjuster body that could lead to a sudden brake failure under heavy load. Question 23. A driver complaint linked to the slack adjusters could be: A. Wiper streaks only. B. Engine overheating only. C. Radio static only. D. Slow brake response or weak braking. Correct answer, D. Slow brake response or weak braking. Explanation. If a slack adjuster is broken or stuck, that wheel will not contribute to stopping, significantly increasing the vehicle's total stopping distance. Question 24. Which item best describes the slack adjusters? A. Tire part for traction. B. Steering part for turning. C. Mechanical linkage that maintains proper brake shoe clearance. D. Engine part for cooling. Correct answer, C. Mechanical linkage that maintains proper brake shoe clearance. Explanation. They are the vital mechanical interface that regulates how far the pushrod must travel before the brakes begin to apply friction. Question 25. What happens if the slack adjusters are broken or damaged? A. Lights get brighter. B. Tires inflate. C. Engine power increases. D. Braking may be reduced or fail. Correct answer, D. Braking may be reduced or fail. Explanation. A broken adjuster prevents the linear force of the air chamber from being converted into the rotational force needed to spread the brake shoes. Question 26. Why are slack adjusters important for safety? A. It cools the engine only. B. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. C. It improves music quality. D. It increases tire grip directly. Correct answer, B. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. Explanation. Properly adjusted slack adjusters ensure that all wheels share the braking load equally, preventing the vehicle from pulling or jackknifing during hard stops. Question 27. Which check best relates to the slack adjusters? A. Check radio station. B. Check tread depth. C. Look for secure mounting and damage. D. Check oil color. Correct answer, C. Look for secure mounting and damage. Explanation. Drivers must ensure that adjusters are not bent and that the pushrod to adjuster angle is approximately 90 degrees when the brakes are fully applied. Question 28. Which symptom could indicate a problem with the slack adjusters? A. Slow brake response. B. AC blows cold only. C. Engine misfire only. D. Headlights flicker only. Correct answer, A. Slow brake response. Explanation: when adjusters fail to maintain proper clearance, the slack or gap between the shoe and drum becomes too wide, causing a noticeable delay in braking. Question 29. What is the main job of the S-cam? A. Improves fuel octane. B. Lowers coolant temperature. C. Is part of the steering system. D. Spreads brake shoes against the drum. Correct answer, D. Spreads brake shoes against the drum. Explanation: the S-cam's unique shape causes it to force the brake shoes outward against the inside of the drum as it rotates, creating the friction needed to stop. Question 30. Which component spreads brake shoes against the drum? A. Tire valve stem. B. Steering gearbox. C. Radiator. D. S-cam. Correct answer, D. S-cam. Explanation: the S-cam is the mechanical cam that translates the rotational energy from the slack adjuster into the linear force that expands the shoes. Question 31. Which part is designed to spread brake shoes against the drum? A. Tire valve stem. B. Radiator. C. Steering gearbox. D. S-cam. Correct answer, D. S-cam. Explanation: by rotating between the brake shoes, the S-cam provides the powerful mechanical wedge action required to generate stopping friction at the wheel. Question 32. If the S-cam fails, what problem is most likely? A. Brighter headlights. B. Reduced braking system performance. C. Lower tire wear. D. Better fuel economy. Correct answer, B. Reduced braking system performance. Explanation: failure of the camshaft means that even if air enters the chambers, the shoes will not be pressed into the drum, leading to a loss of braking force at that wheel. Question 33. Which statement about the S-cam is true? A. It controls tire pressure. B. Spreads brake shoes against the drum. C. It is only cosmetic. D. It adds moisture on purpose. Correct answer, B. Spreads brake shoes against the drum. Explanation: it is a high-strength camshaft located at each wheel position, essential for the mechanical application of the service brakes. Question 34. During pre-trip, the S-cam should be checked for what first? A. Secure mounting and damage. B. Battery voltage. C. Oil level. D. Coolant color. Correct answer, A. Secure mounting and damage. Explanation: pre-trip focus is on identifying any twisting or mechanical wear at the cam head that could prevent the shoes from expanding fully. Question 35. A driver complaint linked to the S-cam could be: A. Slow brake response or weak braking. B. Wiper streaks only. C. Radio static only. D. Engine overheating only. Correct answer, A. Slow brake response or weak braking. Explanation: a worn S-cam or bushing can lead to brake camover, where the cam rotates too far and the brakes become stuck or fail to apply. Question 36. Which item best describes the S-cam? A. Engine part for cooling. B. Camshaft that expands the brake shoes. C. Tire part for traction. D. Steering part for turning. Correct answer, B. Camshaft that expands the brake shoes. Explanation: It is a mechanical camshaft that serves as the final link in the chain of force between the air system and the friction surfaces. Question 37. What happens if the S-cam is broken or damaged? A. Engine power increases. B. Tires inflate. C. Lights get brighter. D. Braking performance may be reduced. Correct answer, D. Braking performance may be reduced. Explanation: physical damage to this component interrupts the transfer of force, making it impossible for the brake shoes to make proper contact with the drum. Question 38. Why is the S-cam important for safety? A. It cools the engine only. B. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. C. It improves music quality. D. It increases tire grip directly. Correct answer, B. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. Explanation: without a functioning S-cam, the vehicle cannot apply the friction needed for stopping, making the vehicle dangerous to operate. Question 39. Which check best relates to the S-cam? A. Check tread depth. B. Check oil color. C. Look for damage and secure mounting. D. Check radio station. Correct answer, C. Look for damage and secure mounting. Explanation: verification includes ensuring the camshaft is properly lubricated and that the bushings are tight and free from excessive play. Question 40. Which symptom could indicate a problem with the S-cam? A. Engine misfire only. B. AC blows cold only. C. Slow brake response. D. Headlights flicker only. Correct answer, C. Slow brake response. Explanation: worn S-cam components lead to uneven wear and delayed application, manifesting as a soft or sluggish brake feel. Question 41. What is the main job of the brake drums? A. Provide the friction surface for the shoes. B. Replaces brake pads automatically. C. Turns on the headlights. D. Is part of the steering system. Correct answer, A. Provide the friction surface for the shoes. Explanation: brake drums are the heavy metal cylinders that rotate with the wheels. They provide the friction surface that the shoes press against to slow the vehicle. Question 42. Which component provides the friction surface for the shoes? A. Brake drums. B. Radiator. C. Tire valve stem. D. Steering gearbox. Correct answer, A. Brake drums. Explanation: the inner surface of the drum is precisely machined to interact with the brake linings to convert motion into heat and stop the truck. Question 43. Which part is designed to provide the friction surface for the shoes? A. Radiator. B. Tire valve stem. C. Brake drums. D. Steering gearbox. Correct answer, C. Brake drums. Explanation: high-quality drums are built to withstand extreme heat and pressure while maintaining a perfectly round shape for smooth braking. Question 44. If the brake drums fail, what problem is most likely? A. Lower tire wear. B. Better fuel economy. C. Reduced braking system performance. D. Brighter headlights. Correct answer, C. Reduced braking system performance. Explanation: a cracked or heat-warped drum cannot provide even friction, which results in shaking, reduced stopping power, or total mechanical failure. Question 45. Which statement about the brake drums is true? A. Provide the friction surface for the shoes. B. It controls tire pressure. C. It is only cosmetic. D. It adds moisture on purpose. Correct answer, A. Provide the friction surface for the shoes. Explanation: the drum must be free of major cracks, longer than half the width of the friction area, and signs of grease or oil contamination. Question 46. During pre-trip, the brake drums should be checked for what first? A. Coolant color. B. Cracks and damage. C. Oil level. D. Battery voltage. Correct answer, B. Cracks and damage. Explanation. Safety checks focus on finding heat-related bluing, cracks, or excessive wear that could cause the drum to shatter under heavy braking. Question 47. A driver complaint linked to the brake drums could be A. Wiper streaks only. B. Slow brake response or weak braking. C. Radio static only. D. Engine overheating only. Correct answer, B. Slow brake response or weak braking. Explanation. Warped or contaminated drums cause the vehicle to vibrate or pull to one side during stopping, indicating the drum is no longer providing consistent friction. Question 48. Which item best describes the brake drums? A. Drums that provide the friction surface. B. Steering part for turning. C. Engine part for cooling. D. Tire part for traction. Correct answer, A. Drums that provide the friction surface. Explanation. They are the heavy, rotating cast iron components that provide the necessary surface area for the brake shoes to act upon. Question 49. What happens if the brake drums are damaged? A. Tires inflate. B. Braking performance may be reduced. C. Lights get brighter. D. Engine power increases. Correct answer, B. Braking performance may be reduced. Explanation. Damage such as heat spots or deep grooves prevents the brake linings from seating properly, making the brakes ineffective. Question 50. Why are brake drums important for safety? A. It improves music quality. B. It cools the engine only. C. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. D. It increases tire grip directly. Correct answer, C. It helps ensure consistent braking and control. Explanation. The drum's ability to dissipate heat and provide a smooth friction surface is critical for maintaining vehicle control on long downgrades. Question 51. Which check best relates to the brake drums? A. Check oil color. B. Look for cracks and secure mounting. C. Check tread depth. D. Check radio station. Correct answer, B. Look for cracks and secure mounting. Explanation. Inspectors must look through the access holes to verify the drum is not cracked and that it hasn't been contaminated by leaking wheel seals. Question 52. Which symptom could indicate a problem with the brake drums? A. AC blows cold only. B. Engine misfire only. C. Slow brake response. D. Headlights flicker only. Correct answer, C. Slow brake response. Explanation. Sluggish stopping or a pulsing sensation in the pedal often points to drums that have expanded or warped due to extreme heat. Question 53. What is the main job of the brake shoes? A. Changes engine oil pressure. B. Replaces brake pads automatically. C. Adds moisture to the air on purpose. D. Press against the drum to create friction. Correct answer, D. Press against the drum to create friction. Explanation. Brake shoes carry the friction linings. When the S-cam rotates, it forces these shoes outward against the drum to stop the vehicle. Question 54. Which component presses against the drum to create friction? A. Steering gearbox. B. Tire valve stem. C. Radiator. D. Brake shoes. Correct answer, D. Brake shoes. Explanation. The shoes are the primary friction elements that translate mechanical force into the heat energy needed for deceleration. Question 55. Which part is designed to press against the drum to create friction? A. Brake shoes. B. Tire valve stem. C. Steering gearbox. D. Radiator. Correct answer, A. Brake shoes. Explanation: the shoes are lined with heat-resistant friction material that must be thick enough to prevent metal-to-metal contact with the drum. Question 56. If the brake shoes fail, what problem is most likely? A. Brighter headlights. B. Lower tire wear. C. Better fuel economy. D. Reduced braking system performance. Correct answer, D. Reduced braking system performance. Explanation: worn-out shoes or missing linings cause a total loss of friction, making it impossible to stop the truck safely in a reasonable distance. Question 57. Which statement about the brake shoes is true? A. Press against the drum to create friction. B. It controls tire pressure. C. It adds moisture on purpose. D. It is only cosmetic. Correct answer, A. Press against the drum to create friction. Explanation: shoes must be checked for minimum thickness, usually 1 to 4 inch, to ensure there is enough material to manage the heat of braking. Question 58. During pre-trip, the brake shoes should be checked for what first? A. Coolant color. B. Oil level. C. Lining thickness and damage. D. Battery voltage. Correct answer, C. Lining thickness and damage. Explanation: inspection focuses on ensuring the linings are not missing, cracked, or dangerously thin, and that they are free from oil or grease. Question 59. A driver complaint linked to the brake shoes could be: A. Engine overheating only. B. Slow brake response or weak braking. C. Radio static only. D. Wiper streaks only. Correct answer, B. Slow brake response or weak braking. Explanation: if linings are glazed from overheating or soaked in oil, the brakes will slip, resulting in much longer stopping times. Question 60. Which item best describes the brake shoes? A. Steering part for turning. B. Tire part for traction. C. Engine part for cooling. D. Shoes that press against the drum. Correct answer, D. Shoes that press against the drum. Explanation: they are the mechanical components that hold the friction linings and make physical contact with the brake drum.